All right, everybody. So, welcome to another episode of West Coast Street Knowledge. I am your host, Gil, aka the American Cholo. I got a special guest, two of them actually in the house. First up, we got Sticks from Lomas. Say what's up, brother.
What's up, everybody? Righteous by faith.
There you go. You got my co-host Sunny Boy.
Good morning.
And then we got Big Triste in the house. He's Triste is actually here with his friend the Puppet Master, man. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man? Chilling, just doing my thing, and I brought the little homie around. So
Yeah, so before we start talking about that guy, which is cool as fuck, by the way.
Thank you.
Let's talk about you, brother.
Well, yeah, I mean, I grew up in Tijuana. I was born and raised in Tijuana. I came to LA when I was 13 years old.
What year was that?
Like in 2001, 2002.
Okay.
And we landed right here in MacArthur Park. We lived right there probably most of my entire life as right now. I just recently moved to Echo Park right now because I got a little crazy, but yeah, I've always been around in MacArthur Park all my life, and that's where I particularly grew up after that.
In 2002, that was actually a pretty bad area back in those days, no?
Oh, yeah, it was pretty, I mean, like I said, I didn't speak English, wasn't paying attention for it, because they brought me over here to try to avoid the violence over there, like.
In Tijuana?
Because my uncles were future gang, like, they were from the neighborhood, and they were like, I'm a future, so they were like, oh, I come over here trying to get better, and I got worse. But like in a smarter way, like over here at least you think about shit. Like over there, I don't even know what I would be, but over here, that I kind of became more like see how the street runs and stuff like that when it came to because over there when I was over there, I was mostly just playing soccer outside my house, or
right?
Just whatever. But when I came over here, it became like, oh shit.
How was the streets and the houses of Tijuana where you live? Was anything compared to this?
Oh hell no, man! Like well, I mean, my life has always been a little up and down, because my dad was hardly with us, he was always up and down and shit and doing his thing, and my mom was the one that raised us. I'm actually the older of 6 kids.
6?
Yeah, 6. So it's me, my 2 sisters, and my other 3 more brothers.
Okay.
And so yeah, it was big, like my mom going to work and all that. And when I was younger, I would actually help her out too. Me going to school, I would go to the supermarket and just bag the groceries for the people, and they would give the change and sometimes you help them to take it to the car and stuff like that. And I did that for like since I remember when I was like 5 years old, 6 years old. And after that, just bring some cereal, eggs to the house, simple things that I guess for my brothers and things like that, and myself too. And yeah, I did that for a while. Go up to knocking the doors, ask for hey, you got like fruit or extra clothes you guys have. And myself, I will always ask for toys. My mom would tell me, don't fucking ask for toys, but I'm like, well, I mean, I want to go ask for toys, because I never had shit like that.
Right.
Sometimes they would give me a lot of cool toys, and everything that I had, it was just because people would give it to me. And pick up cans and just, doing my hustle. My mom showed me the strong, way, and I'm still here,
So got a little hustle going, huh?
Oh yeah, man. Like, and sometimes when I got all those toys, like, my bad. Okay. Like, I will, like, we'll go to, like a little swap meet. They would have, like, a swap meet and stuff like that. We call it Sobre Ruedas in Tijuana. And people will go sell their clothes or whatever. And sometimes I will sell the same toys they will get and, just buy my own things after that. Like, I was stuck playing video games and things like that.
What's the first thing that you remember when you came to the United States that you knew I'm not in Tijuana, I'm not in Mexico anymore?
Oh, the city, man. Like, it was just like I never seen a city before, like big buildings. Even though I passed through San Diego, but I was just passing by. I was not like admiring nothing. Like, I was just like, oh, hi or something. But when I came, it was just big buildings. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was just like, oh shit, like, this is pretty cool. Like, but I mean, I didn't know how how everything worked, because they brought me over here like, oh, we're gonna go visit our uncles.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, because I didn't even get to say bye to my friends over there. We were like, oh, we're gonna leave like in 2 months. We left like next week.
Right.
So it was just like, oh, grab your shit, whatever you can, and let's get the fuck out. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not saying I didn't cry, but I didn't want to come, because I was like, what the fuck? Like, it was just pretty hard.
So how was your childhood living over there in
Well, it was great.
No, I'm sorry. Out here, when you came to MacArthur Park,
when I came to MacArthur Park, I mean, I didn't speak English at all. Okay. My English is kind of worn out, but I practice it a lot. That's why I kind of speak it fluently right now. But yeah, I kind of I used to live in a building and right in the heart, the neighborhood, and I live in the second floor, and through the window, I would see a lot of kids play around and, basketball and things like that. Even though I didn't really like basketball, but I would like to just go out there and play with the homies and shit. And yeah, like, even though they would clown me and all that, because I was probably the only paisita that would kick it with them.
We all have one.
So, instead of kicking it with my own paisitas, I would kick it with the main fools right there.
Right.
And yeah, I became really cool with all of them, grew up there, got to, experience the street life and all that.
Did they ever try to recruit you?
All the time, man. All the time. Because, I mean, like, back in the days, I kind of went bald-headed too, like I went baggy clothes and just imitating them, the way they grew up. I kind of was growing up to it too. And, I got to just smoke, outside the streets and all that. And it was a little different for me because then I acquired the job at the theater.
Okay.
The theater used to be right next to this high school I used to go to. So when I got over here to to Los Angeles, I went to like maybe half a year to middle school.
Okay.
And then somehow I graduated on stage and all that. I'm like, sometimes I think about it now because at the time I didn't know what was going on. But people that you be there for 3 years, they don't graduate.
Right.
I went half a year and I graduated on stage and everything, which I'm like, shit.
That's right.
But once I got to high school, it just went down because then I acquired the job at the theater,
Okay.
And the theater job I acquired just randomly. A lot of people are like, how the fuck did you get involved in all this? And, being you, where you are and, like where you're from and like, how the fuck you got involved in this? And one of my friends that used to live in the same building as me, I guess he got hired there.
Okay.
So he asked me, hey, you want to work in a theater? And I was like theater? Like, yeah, like theater. I got hired over here and, they need somebody else. And in my mind, I thought it was a movie theater. Like, that's what I was all thinking, a movie theater. Like, hey, I'm going to be looking at free movies, just come through. Like, so yeah, like, so they took me to the theater and it was right next to my high school. And it was a puppet theater, like a marionette theater. We call it puppets because a lot of people get familiar with the term puppet.
Yes.
They're like, oh, puppets, oh, shit. But what I do is marionettes.
Marionettes, what it's
Marionettes is with strings. Everything that has strings, it turns into a marionette.
Oh, okay.
So, like, this could be a puppet. But it's just my hands. It turns into a shadow puppet where light will hit it.
Okay,
so it's there's so many different things to do with puppetry. But what I do specialize was marionettes, and I seen like a 1 hour show. It was like around Halloween. So I seen like a Halloween themed show. It was Dracula, Vampira, skeletons that glow in the dark. They will break apart.
Wow.
Like it was just like, what the fuck is going on? Like it really like, cause I never seen something like that myself. Cause I never seen the movie Pinocchio myself. Like
Wow,
Pinocho,
man.
I never seen that shit. I'm serious, man. I never seen that movie. Even today, I never seen it fully.
It's a good movie. You should watch it.
Yeah, I should. But like like I didn't even know what puppet was, even a marionette or nothing like that, and it was just like wow, like it really captivated me in a way that I'm like I want to do that somehow, like and I got hired to do like the lighting equipment.
Okay.
So I was doing like the mood of the scene. Like imagine there's puppets that are ice skating. I will put blues and whites, and they will be like in the desert. I will put reds and yellows, like just changing the moods and all that. I would do that for like 1 hour. We'll play like a tape CD pre-recorded, or it was like a CD now that CD. And those times were tapes, and we'll put a tape just from 1 hour show, and the theater will have like the theater owns almost 3,000 marionettes.
Wow.
3,000, and all these puppets were built like in the 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Pieces of art.
Man, like you will see one of these puppets, man, you will fall in love just by looking at it because it looks so fucking amazing, and the age that they have, like to be able to. For me to manipulate it just the way they were built, like top notch, man. And I was just like, man, like what the fuck?
Okay.
It really, really impacted me in a way that I was like, it was just somehow it just sucked me in and. Just,
right. So now you're doing the lighting.
Yeah.
And walk us through how you get in there.
But yeah, they would, because I don't know English, like eventually they would place a tape and they would, Disney core music, or they would do like mixing their own music, but everything was in English. And but I was like, I can't really jump into this. I'm really scared of jumping in front of people, like even do a puppet, like I was. So I was backstage all the time. People would not see me. They would only at the end they would introduce all of us to say, oh, this is a puppeteer, this is a light guy, and they would introduce us at the end like that, and that's how they would know me. But it took me 5 years of just doing light shows and learning how every puppet will move. Because when it comes to me doing the light shows, I will have to see everybody practice. I will have to see what every puppet, what the puppet is doing, how far the puppet of the stage is gonna go. Like I will have to see all that, even though I'm not doing it, but I have to see it because eventually I'm the one that I'm like not even looking over there, but I know the music. Oh, in this part of the music, he's gonna go this way. Oh, he's gonna go that way. Okay, turn some lights because I had no vision of what they were doing, besides the practice time. And I learned the music like that. So I was doing that for 5 years, and one guy that was there for like before me, and he kind of started he wanted to go for the adult shows, right? Being some adult crowd, and I mean the theater was established in 1963.
Okay.
So he was there for 50 years already. They didn't have to have like adult shows because when it comes to these puppet shows, it's for kids of all ages.
Right.
Like there's not one. Oh, when you're a kid, like right now, I'm sure all you guys will enjoy it more than when you were younger because you could see the art, you could see the craft and shit. Like kids, they just get amazed because they see a puppet moving and all that. Like they just get blown away.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
But once you see like how it works, and because it's practically a mini movie, but just with puppets and all that. Like there's so many different styles and all that. And I spent 5 years, so the guy Bob didn't want to go for for the adults. He was always mainly kids, and adults love it too.
Of course.
Trust me. And he started kind of doing his own thing, so he left the theater. And since he was the main puppeteer there, he had the hardest puppets and like the ones that nobody could touch and only him. So after he left, everybody was scared to grab some of those puppets. Okay. They were just like, oh man, like hell no, like I don't want to do this because they're really hard and scary when it comes to grabbing a new puppet and you know how it works.
So they're obviously they're not all the same, then the sticks and all that. So does it go by the strings? Does it go by the?
Well, Triste has like the most common one, which I actually tattoo the control bars in my hands.
Let me check
you see that right there?
Yeah.
This one is what we call the foot bar. This one manipulates the hands and the feet.
Okay.
So every time I'm doing this, the puppet is already walking. So you just have to go with the puppet so you could walk forward or backwards and things like that. So this one is mostly the support. So this control bar that I did in my hands is the most common one that Bob Baker created. Because when you build a marionette, you're gonna build your own control. You're gonna know what the puppet is gonna look like. You have to build your own thing.
So there's not like these are A's, these are control B's, whatever.
No. This one is kind of the universal because when it comes to this control, it manipulates human-wise. Like you see, this is like a human.
Yes,
so
of course.
Like this control could manipulate maybe like 1,000 more. I could manipulate 1,000 more just by learning this control.
Wow.
But when it comes to animals or four legs, it's a whole different control. Right. Or like when it comes to like different tricks,
right?
Like there's like some jugglers that have three balls and it's juggling two, puts it in a stick, and then from the stick to the nose, and then from the nose to the ear. There's like different strings and different mechanisms when it comes to like puppetry. It's just like
a lot of moving parts.
There's some really difficult ones that I'm still like really amazed that I'll be able to grab a puppet like that was built like from like the masters and it's still the puppet is still here and like. I got taught by Bob Baker, I got actually his name engraved inside of the control.
Who is that? Bob Baker?
Bob Baker.
Was he like one of the first guys out there doing it? He was just an old school guy?
Yeah, but eventually he learned from somebody. So
of course. It's a trade that's been going on for generations and generations.
But Bob Baker started doing puppets since he was 8 years old.
Wow.
He was getting paid at 8 years old doing puppets. Like, there's footage of this guy, little kid doing like a little Mickey Mouse looking puppet and like already doing a celebrity show, like for celebrities back in the days, because it's a little kid. Like Bob Baker was like, you will want him everywhere. Like he was really famous, man. Like
so now your Baker's gone. You're coming in.
I mean, Bob Baker passed away in 20.
So he passed away.
He passed away in 2012. He was 93.
Oh wow, he lived a nice long life.
In doing what he loved.
Yeah, of course.
Like his story, amazingly, like oh man, like you just wanna like, be with him and all that. Like just follow his steps and all that. And he didn't have family or nothing like that.
How was he towards you?
I mean, to true. I mean, I was the cholo in that theater, like, like I scared everybody away. Once I started working there, a little more Rasta started working there. I mean, there was workers there, but not like as a performers.
Right.
So when I don't know, it just became so different. Like, so when I was working with Bob, I mean, I didn't know English. There was somebody else translating things, or like Bob, like the owner will, we're gonna do 100 of these puppets. like, oh, okay, the other guy would tell me, oh, we'll just sand 100 of these pieces and color them, you know, like put them together. Like,
Right.
we'll have like a sample of a puppet and we'll just make hundreds of those. Like, we'll build like just to sell them, you know, as an advertising. Because Bob was really amazingly when it came to building puppets to sell. Because he will sell all over the world.
Really?
Like, all over the world. Like, when it came to like back in the days, you know what I mean? Eventually now it's different because computer war, like the computer war's taking over. Like, puppetry is never gonna go away, to tell the truth. Like,
that's right.
I mean, puppetry been around since the pyramids.
Yes.
I mean, way back in the days. I mean, how long do you think it's gonna, you know, like, it's still here? And just if I don't do it myself, somebody else will, and it's just not gonna go nowhere, man. And right now, I'm just somehow bringing it back in a way that, you know, that I like it.
So after how long have you been working at the
theater,
before you left?
Well, the theater I was working for 17 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You were there for 17.
17 years. But that was my first job when I arrived over here. Then I just kind of somehow kept it. Like, even though I was doing my shit on the side, like in the streets or whatever, like, I would just always go do a show and then just leave and then come back like that. I mean, it kept me away from a lot of trouble, which I'm really grateful.
No, I want to say that the puppeteering saved your life, brother.
Trust me, man. I mean, what do you think I did this?
Yeah,
right here?
yeah.
Like,
No.
I'm gonna be doing this my whole life, man. You know, I'm really grateful that he, you know, because of him, I am what I am right now. You know, like, not because of my real parents or nothing like that, but he's the one that nobody, even though like I will like, oh, you're not gonna pay me, I'm not gonna show up for like important shows. Like, he will still be there and be like, oh, you wanna, you know, like. There was that point that my life been all around, like when it came to like the theater wise, they always helped me in a way that, oh, if I they could always have to, you know, like do all that way. Right. They would do it for me, you know, like if I be like, oh, you know, I need some money right now, like in advance, they would give it to me. Like, you know, I was the only kind of spoiled guy right there.
That's right.
Which I'm really grateful when it came to like, because, you know, after a while, my house, I mean, my family kind of moved like right next to the theater, like a block away from the theater.
Nice.
So, you know, like I was one block away, go to the theater, have like 2-hour lunch, and then come back again, just working things.
What did your family think when they found out you love this stuff?
Well, I mean, you know what? My family always been supportive. I mean, when it came to working, as long as you bring money, you know, at the beginning, you know, because I mean, they don't know what I was doing, you know. If somehow like, I don't even know to tell you. I don't remember how my family felt at the beginning, because they wouldn't show it. I guess, you know, they were like, "What the fuck?" I don't think my brothers knew what I do. Right. Like a lot of it, just because they would think that I would go to school. Because eventually, while I was going to school, I was getting like first and second period to go to work and then come back to school and then do that. But I mean, like I was fucking up in school, so I would just keep working. You know, I didn't want to come back and just drop off school and just kept the theater, because I mean I was already working there, so that's right. You know, when I was in high school, I had money, so you know all these little homies here and there was like, fuck this shit. Yeah, that's when you got a job, you got some cash in your pocket, right? So I was kind of like, you know, I'm not saying the one that, because I like treating people, I like money, man, because I never had it, you know. So when I have it, I like to just let it go too. So it's kind of like, you know, my homies were like, oh shit, let's go with Kanye smoke or whatever. I would like go to a store and treat everybody, you know. That's like, always been that guy that. But you've always been the guy working. That's why. Yeah, exactly. I was out of like 20 people. They know. Oh yeah, Kanye. You know, like it's one ninja. You know, because I always work. Always. So let's talk about the star of the show, man. Well, you know, the start of the show. Well, I mean, like, what do you mean show? This guy here. Oh, this guy. I thought like you wanted me to talk about the show. No, we're talking about the star of the show right here. El Triste, yes, of course. Yeah, El Triste, this guy, I don't know, man. Let's let him talk. Where did the concept come up? Where did the idea? How did this guy come about to get life? Well, you know what? Like, since I always worked at the theater, I mean, I always wanted to build a puppet, because I mean, I seen like the creations of the theater, and which I'm like, damn, they're fucking badass. But I mean, to build a real marionette is like $2,000, like at least. Wow. Or like, you know, like so much time plus the time you're gonna put in, and of course. It's a really long list that I don't have the skills for. Because I mean, even though I was at the theater 17 years, like you gotta think of me like as I started learning everything first instead of the beginning. Because I didn't know English at the time. I was not there. Oh, this is what you do, build a puppet from scratch. And no, I was just learning manipulation and all that. And then now I'm learning building. Okay. So I did everything backwards. So right now, you know, as you know, of course, the theater closed down in like 2 years ago, and it kind of really hurt me in a way that that I kind of started doing my own thing. Okay. Which it came El Triste. El Triste was born maybe 3 years ago. Because I mean, I had never had that money.
Right.
I mean, this guy actually became pretty expensive too. This guy became $600 puppet.
Wow.
Which is I don't consider him a puppet because it was practically a doll that I broke apart. You know, it was one of my homegirls' creation.
Right.
Miss Reyes Arte, she practically does these dolls. I mean, it would be one of these, but if I would pick them up, it has the strings.
Right.
But I practically bought one of her creations, and I just was like, you know what? I'm just gonna break them apart and make it into a puppet. And she was like, really? And I was like, oh, I never seen a puppet. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. And yeah, it just became this puppet that I built myself on my base on my feelings. Because, I mean, I'm always laughing. I'm always, kind of smoking it up. And I'm always smiling. And I'm always in a good mood. So I didn't want to create something happy, too. Because I'm like, nah, just create something the opposite of me, which is sadness. Which that's why I translate to Spanish, being el triste. Like, kind of just take my sadness away. And just became a, forever sad clown for me. Which is super cool.
So, why don't you show us how this thing works, man?
Oh, man. I wasn't...
Huh?
I was not planning to do all that.
No, you're gonna have to. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna take a small break.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back to you guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Growing up, how did you deal with how much clowning did you have to deal with?
But yeah, like the homies.
Especially mulatto.
Oh yeah, well, trust me,
With the puppet?
Yeah, trust me. Well, but yeah, because since I kicked it with other homies, I always find out where everybody was going, like after school, before school, eventually. So eventually they end up finding out that I work in a puppet theater. They will clown me the shit out of it because, they were like, you're playing with dolls, you're doing show with white people. And I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, it's a job, I mean, they just they never seen it. Even though I was like, come to fucking see a show, and they probably change your mind. But they were just, I guess, muy cholos in a way.
Bueno, ese tiempo sí.
Yeah, so I was like, what, fuck it, And so yeah, they would clown me the shit out of it. And there was this one particular guy, his name is Scotty. Mm-hmm. So Scotty used to clown the shit out of me too, like the most. And I was like, you know what, fool? Like, come over here, though. So I just took him to the theater, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, so the same way as me. I got him a job there. So, like, for him to get involved in that, because he was pretty big, he's pretty, like, in a heavy side. And he would just do shows, like, I never seen, like, I'm trying to clown or not, but I never seen, a big guy doing shows and
Tough
stuff
guy
like
over
that. Yeah, like, he was bald-headed, like, big as fuck, and doing, like, shows,
A fucking scary cholo with the fucking...
like, trust me, that fool ended up being there for, like, 4 years.
That's what's up, man.
And then, started having kids. They moved, like, a little far from, passing Disneyland and all that, which, I mean, I brought him in there, after all this, he just, there now, and he got the experience, he got the, the experience of it.
Changing people's lives, brother.
Yeah, and I mean, because of that, same too, kind of kept him away from a lot of stuff and all that and making money.
What happened to the theater?
Well, I mean, the theater was there for like 50 plus years,
right.
I mean, it opened a while back, and over the years, of course, it got a celebrity status of, everybody wanted to be in theater in, 60s, 70s, 80s,
right.
90s, computers started coming in and, computerized everything. And 2000 was just fully computer. So, I mean, we were losing shows. Like, not a lot of people would come and see a show, or like there's, like Monday to Friday, we get like a lot of school field trips.
Right.
Like, we would get like 200 kids in there every day, like from Monday to Friday. Saturdays and Sundays, we would do like birthday parties for like the public. Okay. Whoever wanted to come from far away, like, we had people from all over the world. They will come into the theater, and we would do shows all the time. But there's their school district cut their budget for their field trips. So we lost a lot of schools, man. Like, you have no idea. And people that will come into the theaters because their parents will give them money to come bring them,
right,
like, because eventually it will come to like wasting money and all that. And we lost a lot, man. We lost a lot from doing everyday shows to not doing nothing, only the weekends, 3 days.
Wow, so that budget in the school, and that's unfortunate because those kids. I mean, you see this, you can spark some kids' mind, man.
Trust me, man. And you know that's how somehow like we get raza in there, you know, because not a lot like Latinos will come into the theater Saturdays and Sundays, you know, right? Because I mean, I wouldn't even if I knew there was a puppet theater, I would not pay $20.
Yeah, you can't afford it.
To like by yourself with 3 or 4 kids all the time, and I was like, nah. So like the schools would bring all the Latinos, and I'll be like, oh, yeah, take pictures everywhere, and show them around backstage, because if people will ask you, oh, like, can you take us backstage, we'll take them, but not a lot of people would know, and sometimes we'll take the whole bunch of kids, and it will be scary because one of the 3 rules that we have at the theater is remain seated, because the puppets will run up and down. You don't want to be crossed out and then you going straight and you don't see the bag and bump into a kid. Always stay seated. The second rule will be not touching, because the strings will get cut up or nothing like that. The puppets will come up to you and hug you and do all this, and if you get hugged too, somehow you get stuck. Right. The third rule will be like, help us with first and 2 rules. Like, help us with those 2. And that's right. It just, sometimes when it came to that, it was just a full-on show, man, which was really amazing. And
Triste talk?
El Triste doesn't talk, because it was practically a doll. Like if I would have built a real puppet, it would have been way different. It would have been like moving mouth and eyes, but I don't have the money for it. So when it comes to building this guy, it became more easier for me because they already had the personality that I wanted. And like I said, I actually built this guy as a display. I didn't build him to like bring him everywhere. Like, right now, like I wouldn't not bring him if I, like at the beginning, because I just build them to take them places and be like, oh, this is what a marionette looks like, and you like this guy, come, see a full-on show into like the theater. And even though he's not part of the theater, but I will still promote the theater no matter what. Like when it comes to puppetry, I'm always, Bob Baker, always. That's right. And yeah, people are like, oh, this is pretty cool, and because the way he looks so real. And
what's that thing in the back?
This one.
No, the metal part. Right?
This.
Yeah, that whole thing right there.
That's actually Darth Vader from Venice Beach that's holding the puppet up.
I was connected. I was like,
that was a rocket.
Hey, so back to the theater real quick.
Yeah.
That was actually giving underprivileged kids an opportunity to see something that most kids who have money, who have this, could see, and they pretty much cut that budget and pretty much shut the theater down with that, huh?
Yeah, man. It just it just became to a way that we're not doing shows. And at the beginning, when we got hit like that, we were doing night shows. Like celebrities sometimes will come and do like a music video. We'll do like a night event and things like that. But when it comes to just private shows, nothing like public and things like that. And we got our money from it. We survived like. We're supposed to, since I got there, we're supposed to close down. Since
you had been there.
Yeah, like, we survived all these years, and I mean, eventually we never put until I guess we did.
So how long after the school cut the budget did you guys shut doors there?
I mean, the support of Los Angeles or the Bob Baker, the supporters were always there, man. Like, always hard fans, because, from generations been visiting the theater. I remember like we have always stories of people coming like, oh, I remember when my mom brought me here, and I'm bringing my kids and they're bringing their kids, and
that's right.
It's like a full-on chain of just memories of people, and they will bring their pictures with this particular puppet, and then we'll bring the puppet out and then tag their pictures with the other kid. Like it was just so many memories that the theater has, and those never gonna go away, man. Like I said, like they just lost their budget when it comes to the school, but their fans always there when it came to Saturdays and Sundays, because they were like the only days that regular people will get to come to the theater. They didn't know what was going on Monday to Friday. Only us, because eventually we were the one not having shows, or because when I was working there 9 to 5. Like since I was not saying the one that will do like a lot of things, but now the people get to work those hours. Only me, because I would do most of the stuff, and all the people after the show, okay, go home. We don't have money to pay you, only myself or whatever. And it became like that for a while. But like it just became to a point that like Bob sold the theater to this company or whatever. Because at the time, of course, he was struggling with himself too. Because Bob Baker, he was not the only one when it came to the theater. His all-time partner, his name was Alton Wood. Alton Wood was the business side. Okay. Bob Baker was the showman. Alton Wood actually passed away like a couple of years before I got there, so I didn't get to meet him. But after he passed away, Bob Baker felt it so bad, and he just kind of went down and didn't care. I'm not saying that he didn't care, but he was not aware of what everything was going on because I mean he was not financially there. He was just mainly building puppets and doing shows and things like that. But I guess all that caught up into the end and.
So there was nobody there to follow up and
he kind of just got lost and eventually after a couple of years I guess the mortgage and all that. And
what happened to all the puppets?
I mean the puppet, while we were there we got after of course somehow like after Bob Baker passed away, people started blooming and trying to help us.
Right.
Like, people are like, oh, I want to volunteer to, help you guys paint whatever you guys need me. I'm here.
Right.
And we became, like, really popular somehow after Bob passed away, and it became to, like, celebrities even coming to the show and all that. Like, I met a couple of celebrities myself, like, which I'm like, what the fuck, I'm this show for this guy.
Right.
And, since I would do the hardest puppet, they would always talk about me. Big, Nicolas Cage, like I got to me, like, like.
So you got a couple cool pictures.
Nah, I was always like, nah, I don't want to take a picture. Because, everybody was, oh shit, like, the guy that came out like Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter guy, like I know who they were, but I never like. The only guy that I kind of became really cool with, it was Ryan Gosling.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys.
That's one of my favorite actors, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
That guy, what do you call them? Yeah, he actually created a band called Dead Man's Bones.
Okay.
It's kind of like a little spooky, Halloweeny kind of thing, which it was pretty cool because we were doing a Halloween show at the time, so he kind of just went with it. So I guess he created a whole album, over like 10 songs, and everything was spooky wise, and he actually promoted the whole album at the theater.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was like a whole full-on week of just, celebrities coming to the house. Even Jessica the Alba, like, big celebrities were coming in there, which I'm like, what the fuck? Like, we got to work for him for, like, a whole month. So, I even got cool with him and everything.
That's right.
And, but, I was with him just same person, like, I didn't really...
Does he got any brothers, sisters,
Nah.
wives,
I
girlfriends?
know, right?
Was he ever from a barrio?
Nah, like, but I didn't even know who he was until like that day that I met him. And then I started searching. I'm like, oh shit, that's
What kind of music does Triste like?
Well, man, El Triste is all about oldies, though.
Oldies forever.
Is Teresa from a barrio?
Not yet, though.
Not yet. He's aspiring now.
Yeah, right now it's kind of getting to the point that he's like getting too gangsy and shit.
Does he have a girlfriend?
Girlfriend? Yeah, he actually does have a girlfriend.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
Like Mando.
No, he does. He does.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, I've been having him for 3 years, and people after a while told me you should make him his own Instagram.
Of course.
So I was like, I don't know, man, because I'm like, I'm already dealing with my own. I didn't want to build another one. So yeah, so after I had a couple of pictures, because all my friends are photographers. So after I had like over 100 pictures, I could maybe post one a day.
That's
cool.
right.
So yeah, open his own page on Instagram, and people just following the shit.
He's more important than you now.
What's Triste's page?
El Triste 213.
There you go. El Triste 213.
Okay. Who pulls the strings? You or
That's a
I mean, I'm not even holding them, bro. I'm not holding them. I was just post up, Aquí tiene su pistolita.
I know he's strapped up.
Yeah, that was not joking around.
He looks capable.
Yeah, this vato became his own little homie, though. Like I said,
he already told me to shut up.
So has this thing been a great icebreaker for people to come and approach you? And
definitely, man. Like a lot of people just randomly, sometimes because I hang them right in my shoulder. I don't carry him like that because I get tired or something. So I carry him like this, so he's always facing back. So a lot of people are like, "Is that a marionette?" I'm like, "How the fuck you know?" Because of the control, they could see the control and all that. Which I'm like, oh, shit. Like today when I went to hang out with this girl from London that she wanted to visit around, and I met this guy before I met her. Like he just seemed like, "Oh, that's a marionette. Like that's fucking cool," and this and that. And I was like, "Yeah, just like." A lot of people do know marionettes, which is super cool. I just trip out sometimes when they do know about it. I'm like, oh shit, that's super cool. Like,
I learned that. I thought it was puppets all the time.
Yeah, I mean, puppets is mostly universal for everything. So it's most related because what is a marionette? You start like, nah.
So what are you working on with this stuff? What's the plan here, brother?
I mean, like, well, El Triste, I guess you could say, made me into a model.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to fucking model clothes or nothing like that.
Oh, is that what you're doing with them too?
Yeah, I guess, there was a company that hit me up called Fresh Drive. And they'd be seeing El Triste around because of these pictures. And then they were like, hey, I want to build something for your puppet. And I was like, oh, really? Like, because I don't have the money to build this motherfucker something, you know? So I just took into his little shop and they were measuring and everything. And, they built this red flannel right here. Which is kind of...
Tell them to build me one.
I know.
That fool got better stilo than fucking Sonny, homeboy.
Yeah, like it just became super cool when they built that one because they built the same shirt for me. Like we were matching clothes all the time. I even did for Halloween. I was painting myself like him. Like we're just
that's right.
the same person. Like it was super cool the way like people were like, oh shit, the same guy. Like yeah, I guess. But yeah, he was bald headed. I kind of built him how it was before. You know, I was bald headed myself, and you know, like things like that.
He got Rogaine.
Yeah, now you know since I couldn't go bald headed no more. I was like, nah, I can't do that no more. So I kind of brought him to look more like me now.
Does he wear tres flores too, or what?
Yeah, no, you know, I just don't have the little net right now, but you know, I think Maya, you know that.
No, that was gangster, man.
Yeah, like I said, this was just people would just want to build stuff for him. Like somehow just want to give him stuff. I'm like, really? Like you want to make a brand? Like you know, give him something? Like yeah, I mean, send it to him. When it comes to changing his clothes, it takes 1 hour.
Really?
Wow.
I had like maybe 3 outfits, but if I want to be like right now, oh, let me change. Nah, it takes 3 hours, like 1 hour, 1 hour,
Really?
1 hour.
That's worse than a baby.
Because I have to take all the strings out and put them back.
That's right.
You know, because all the strings that go through the
Yeah,
clothes and all that, and I had to take everything out and eventually put it back again. And yeah, it takes like an hour. That's why he always stays the same. So I can't really change him that much.
You ever put it back in a box or what's he in?
Before I used
You
to,
ever say, get in the box,
Idiot,
motherfucker.
bro.
Get in the box, motherfucker.
I should. I used to have a backpack. I used to wear them in there, but since I added the smoking mechanism, that wire kind of prevents to do that. Like I can't fit them in there no more, so I just not hang them.
You know, as a kid, I seen a movie called, I think it was called The Puppet Master.
Yeah, the Puppet Master. Yeah.
70s or 80s.
Yeah, that one I seen it
And
too.
there was a section, part where she's in a box with his head.
Uh,
I was like, oh, hell no. Dude.
yeah.
That's when I seen it there.
You know
I was like,
what?
oh, here we go.
After I got involved with puppets, like I start searching everything puppet related. When it came to music, you know, I'm your puppet. I start bumping that shit all the time. When you know, High C, you know, I'm not your puppet. And
I'm not your
puppet. Yeah, and I start seeing movies about them and all that. Like I just got involved in all that shit. And
That was what's his name? Tony A's.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was his fucking little scratch up right there. And Dr. Dre and Be Real has a song too called Puppet Master.
Is that right?
That one's like the intro of it. It's fucking like circusy, like it's circus music and all that, and he's talking about the puppeteer.
I think Metallica has a song like that.
Oh yeah,
too.
Metallica too. Yeah. That's how I kind of got involved with them.
That's right.
You
So
know,
this
like
is a Marionette, right? Marionette.
Marionette,
And you're the Puppet Master.
Puppet Master. Yeah, I kind of.
You are a Puppet Master, right?
No.
No.
You know what? Like I kind of just get myself that I should be called a puppeteer.
Puppeteer.
If you would wanna, I'll be like, oh, puppeteer 213, but that doesn't sound gangster.
Pretty much.
You know, when it comes to being a puppet master, I mean, you're supposed to master different type of puppets, which I do, but only marionettes. I could be. There's hand puppets, the one that you put like the whole puppet in here, or ventriloquism.
Right.
That you're supposed to not move your mouth, but tiger, I can't do that shit. Like, I don't know about that.
So triste.
Hey.
Does he have any fears, emotions?
Fears? I mean, maybe just by being just happy.
You ever been locked up?
Nah, not yet.
Then you're working.
I mean,
I'm working on it.
He hasn't burned that little thing, you know. He hasn't
Yeah,
burned it
burner.
yet, so you know.
He does.
It's legit right now, you know. So
So he ain't scared of nothing.
yeah, he's just ready, dog.
Straight
just ready.
G.
Also just post
shit.
up to take one for the team, you know. I was just like, hell yeah, you know, con little coronita and shit.
That's what's
I
up, man.
bought this little coronita right here in Placita Olvera.
That's right.
It was practically a bottle opener. It had the little thing.
Oh,
right
yeah,
here
that's
to
right,
open
that's
the
right.
bottle.
Oh, okay.
So I just took it away and I put a magnet right here. So he has a magnet in his hand.
You,
Wow.
So I could just put it there and he holds it.
you got to get creative
like,
with this
that's
thing.
tight.
Huh?
Yeah, but like you know,
You-
so it just became pretty cool. And I'm always every time I go somewhere, I'm trying to buy something for this motherfucker, like shoes or clothes. I'm like, what the fuck?
So are you
it's like
are
a
you doing
trip.
are you doing shows with them or are you doing shows right now? What are you
No,
doing?
I don't do shows myself. I don't perform professionally no more because I don't work at the theater when it comes
Okay.
to like that. Because eventually I took a break from the theater because it kind of hurt me, you know, big time.
Of course.
You know,
Bob.
closing the
whole-
house,
the whole thing.
The thing. It was just like too much for myself, and I want to go to art school. I want to learn how to draw.
Okay.
Because eventually, I want to do puppet shows forever, of course. Eventually, and I want to do shows for, you know, like raza in Spanish
That's
and things
right.
like that, and, you know, show days or even have classes and things like that. I want to come back into the theater eventually, have, I mean, all these ideas always floating around.
Right.
Always, always, always. The theater does have a show called Fiesta, or sometimes we translate it as Alegre. It's a whole south of the border thing. That's what they call it.
Nice.
And it has like a Spanglish music. You know, it has a lot of Spanish in there, and you know, there's a cactus, there's a tucan, you know, un gallo, and there's a whole like, you know, Central American kind of vibe to a whole show, which is 1 hour. It has a mariachi. It has so much thing, which is it relates to all of us. You know,
You
like,
could even start your own school in the future.
yeah, I mean, you know,
I'm still listening to the show. What's no, wait a minute. Where's the show at?
Yeah.
Where's the show at?
well, the show they're doing it at the theater. At the theater.
Oh, you can go there?
Yeah, I mean, you know, after the owner passed away, I got to became. I'm not saying became the next Bob Baker because I'm never gonna get to that point. Never.
Right.
I don't think in my life myself, you know, because he was just too much for his lifetime. He was just ahead of his time and all that. But after he passed away, I mean, he practically trained me. You know, and everybody that was working at the time when he passed away never knew him. Like, they don't know him, or they didn't knew him, or they just seen pictures, of course, because Bob Baker was all over the place. But it just became to like, oh, but you know that most of these puppets, like, you're going to become the teacher. You know, whoever comes here, you're going to teach them how to do this, how to do the numbers, trying to make them learn the routines, because every puppet has a routine. And I know most of them,
right?
You know? So I had to teach. Oh, but this puppet goes this way when it's music, or he does this gesture, he closes his eyes, he's singing, or whatever his puppet is doing, and I would teach that to whoever new person that would come into the theater and all that.
So, do you consider yourself like a street performer with this guy, or what do you?
Well, like I said, I don't perform.
Do you take him out when you go
Well,
out?
I do take him out when it comes to like.
Something, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sometimes when you know, I go to a lot of parties myself. You know?
Okay.
I got just kick it with the homies and all that, and I do take them with me sometimes. You know, the homies like bring them down.
Of
like, just bring 'em down.
course.
So I take them, and like I say, he has his own fans that when when they see me, they're like, "What's el triste?" I'm like, "Motherfucker, I'm right here." You know, like what the fuck? Like,
Ah, shit.
You need to get him a little high chair. Like, when he goes-
yeah, it should. But I mean, I actually bought him a little lowrider pedal car. Like, I don't even own a car, and this motherfucker has a car.
Yeah, he has a
so
car.
you know, I bought him a lowrider pedal car. That one of my homies, like, he was like, "Hey, you know what? I have this idea that, you know, I'll be seeing this, you know, fire truck pedal car that I'll be seeing around. I'm gonna customize it, you know, for you and this and that." And I'm like, yeah, a year passed by, and he's like, "I finally found it," and this and that. I was like, "What the fuck?" Yeah. All happy as fuck. And you know, time passed by, he got collaborated with some other guy, and it became to this fucking amazing laid out, you know, pedal car with both of their faces, which is Triste and La Smiley, in both of their size, which it just became, I was like, it just became really fascinating. It was really expensive because I didn't think I was gonna spend that much on this motherfucker, but I was like, whoa, it just became really cool. And I hardly take pictures with it, like, cause it's pretty heavy, motherfucker, and I don't have a car. My girlfriend just takes me. But when it comes to like lowrider shows or like little events that's always going on, I'm always taking them because it's fun to, you know, show them off.
That's
it's
right.
fun, you know. People always relate to this motherfucker.
Is he serious with his girlfriend? Is he gonna get married to her? Is he just gonna knock her up?
You know, I built a Smiley like maybe like 3 months ago. I barely built.
So they're
it.
working on the relationship.
Yeah, they're kind of, you know, I mean, last.
Yeah.
So like Las Smiley has tatted his name right here. El Triste.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So, you know, she's one of the
So you
ones
know
that,
it's
like, you know,
serious.
you're gonna be mine, and that's it. So, you know, after I built Las Smiley, like, and I posted a picture, like, girls, like, they were doing videos of doing their makeup like her.
Right.
So they were doing tutorial makeups with, "Oh, I'm La Smiley, you know, where's El Triste?"
That's right.
There were like literally hundreds of girls doing that, which I was like, "What the fuck?"
Does he have her name on there?
No.
Chale.
Oh, so he's
Chale.
You know what I do want to do? Maybe like in the neck or something, you know, put right here, like La Smiley or something.
The little
Kinda
kiss right
like-
here, boy.
Yeah, I was thinking of when he was bald headed, I was gonna do a kiss right here and, you know, La Smiley, but now he has hair, so I can do that. But maybe like in the neck, something like the lips, you know, do something kind of,
Is
you know,
he
for him.
faithful?
For El Triste is I can't really say it's a player. Well, El Triste, you know, be putting strings on everybody, you know. So I mean, El Triste goes with whoever controls, you know.
So let's switch this conversation over a little bit.
Right.
What do you think we're all here, man?
What was that?
What do you think we're all here? Like,
Well, I mean, what I seen, you know, what this is going for, you know, show, you know, talent in the neighborhood, you know, like just, you know, show it off, because not a lot of people knows what's going on in the neighborhood besides, you know, like just shootings and all this shit, just homies talking stories and all that, and you know, it's good to, you know, to let people know that people do grow up in the neighborhood and people are doing this and they're still doing this, and it's taking them away from all that. And I like, talking about all that, which is super cool that you guys are doing this.
Show them a different side of us.
Exactly.
I think is what it is.
Because nobody, when they see me on the streets, they don't even know me. I mean, now people, not because of the way I look and all that.
Yeah, crees que es un cholo, güey.
Yeah, I mean, people trip out, especially when I do puppets, like I'm, soy un marionettero, and they're like, what the fuck, really? Like, you got puppets? Like, yeah. Well, I only got 2, but, I do have manipulated a bunch.
Well, I think times are also changing because, I mean, to me, a homie wearing dresses, gangsters fuck, nice, looking like a straight, like a cholo. I mean, but not in a negative, not in a bad way. That's just his style, But back in the days, you wore some shit like that, you're getting banged on for hitting you up. Where you from? This and that.
Well, I actually thought the tattoo was a cross, a cruz.
Oh, well, a lot of
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah, people just confuse it. But I mean, if you look at this.
No. Now that you pointed out, you can tell what it is.
Yeah, it is. And
but to me, it looked like a cruz at first. Upside down one. I
mean, I do want people to be like, what is that? Eventually talk about puppets,
See, I'm worried about you. Well, you look like you got an upside down cross and you're fucking with them little guys. Those guys scare the shit out of me.
I don't know about that.
I'm gonna be all mad if I wake up in the middle of the night and that fucker's next to me laying in bed.
You know what? A lot of people are like, you're not scared. Like, you're not scared. I'm like, man, I sometimes when we have do short shows at the theater that were hard, we had to sleep over. We'd sleep over a couple of times, and everybody that used to work at the theater, most of the time, most of them passed away because the theater been there so long, and you feel it, you can somehow the thing, but. I'm not scared, man. Like, there's way scarier puppets than this. And this motherfucker scares me. I'll be like, you know what, motherfucker, go get me some shit, Like, don't be coming up right here with just empty-handed.
Put him in the box.
Hey,
put him in the box.
Like, nah.
No, so his head can spin around?
Yeah. Well, right now, my imagination is really wild when it comes to, puppets and my background when it comes to music. I'm a big fan of reggae. Like, I love reggae music, and I want to build a Rasta puppet.
Okay.
Like, like a Bob Marley type kind of puppet.
That practice voodoo.
I don't know about that. I do know a guy that has a puppet that does voodoo.
Wow.
That motherfucker comes out with voodoo. I'm serious. That fool has a shrunken head and everything, and talks out with the smoke like that. Like,
that's the one we're gonna get you.
Yeah. And that fool looks a straight.
So you're gonna put him on the lista.
Colombiano,
Shit.
Hardcore.
No, they are creepy looking.
There are some. There are some.
Imagine, you lay him down a certain way, like Annabelle. That motherfucker turns his head on.
Can you highlight a few things, like the little strap, a couple of those things, because I don't think they could see.
Yeah. Well, I got this little shave.
Guys, strap.
It's actually a knife. I don't want to cut myself right now and shit. But yeah, it's a knife. I went to the callejones,
Oh, no.
And I just was walking by. I was like, oh shit, she's just perfect size for this motherfucker. Just get him, make sure people don't fuck with him.
He's gonna catch a case somewhere.
Yeah, so
that's why he said he hasn't been to jail yet.
So, and then I got him some logs,
It's a little,
got him some logs right there. So, it's a real homie, though. Like I said, it's not a performer, though. Like, if you turn, I want to chase it for this show, this was like homie. Like, the fool smokes and drinks. That's what he does.
What's he smoke, man?
Well, it's natural stuff, man. Only natural stuff. Only the
Hierba
ganja.
buena.
Only the ganja, man.
Only the
so
greens.
legal stuff.
Only the greens.
Only the best of the best.
How do you like now that we in California finally got that legalized? It took so many years, but we finally got it
I'm
legal.
sure Triste is happy.
Oh yeah, definitely inside he's smiling, but I got to deal with a lot of fucking bullshit too myself when it came, fucking Crash Jr. will pull up on me and like, what do you got there? Pull up and shit, like, oh, I got weed, like, all right, throw it in the ground, and I was all right, step on it and twist your finger.
Now they won't make you throw it on your ground.
Man, they're fucking advertise these motherfuckers and billboards and all that shit. I work in West Hollywood next to like this big ass shops,
right?
Which I'm like, what the fuck? Like, damn, I can go in there, but like, I'll trip out.
It's changed, man. It's changed.
So how does it feel when you're in your neighborhood walking around and cops stop you and you're carrying a puppet?
That's your
Do
pop.
they tell him to put his hands up and get on his knees?
I mean, I wish all that happened, but
You have to put him on his knees.
Hey, they shoot him.
assume the position.
Assume the position.
Yeah, well, since all that, I mean, I grew up in all that shit. So right now, I'm actually getting a little collaboration with, Reyes Arte again, and I'm building a cop puppet.
Nice.
I'm gonna build like a little puerquito and shit. So I'm gonna build like a cop puppet, and since his has a little pedal car, so it's gonna be like a pullover kind of scene.
Ándale,
So,
ándale.
I'm gonna make them in my mind. I'm gonna build a bunch of little homies and just do scenes and just do most of the pictures because I wanna build like a little cartoonish background with like a building and just like they're here and there, but. Mostly, I do want to build a bunch of little homies, and little by little, like I said.
Yes,
They're just not. They're not toys, man. They're not toys. This guy motherfucker become expensive.
Yeah, there's a lot of people I think you could definitely link up with and do,
yeah. A lot of people tell me, but a lot of people tell me too, like I want to buy a puppet, but then I tell them the price. They're like, all right,
Never mind.
I'm like, yeah, because they think it's a toy, because it's not a toy. This is mostly like I'm not saying museum style thing, but after I'm die, he was just gonna be hanging there.
Right.
Kids ever try to play with it?
A lot of kids, and we don't let them.
Yeah.
$600 I would have needed.
Yeah,
this
they're
guy,
not toys.
Yeah, this guy became. I mean, now he's strong, that his hands are plastic, so the strings that he's getting attached, and after you hold it, he just goes apart.
Okay.
So I mean, you can't fix plastics, So this guy became really sensitive after a while. I mean, it gets dirty. That's the only shit that I need to get him out, like a little baggie and all that. But
I'm surprised you don't got no tattoos on his face here.
yeah, well, he has a little teardrop right there.
Oh, he has a little teardrop.
Yeah, and you know what? I put it there, for
So they had to handle his business, right?
Well, it's like more as a reminder of a passing lover.
This fucking puppeteer, I mean the little puppet guy, he's your baby, dude.
You could say
He's
so.
your fucking baby. Yeah. You gotta change his clothing. You gotta heal his wounds. I mean, you gotta take him around. You gotta make kids don't mess him up.
That's true. You know what? I'll tell Bill La Smiley, because La Smiley's been around for like 5 months, and they're like, build on my baby. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, it takes you 9 months to have a baby, so let them, chill,
Okay.
yeah.
So when your girl gets mad at you, and Smiley, does she get mad at you too? They're like tag team on you guys?
Nah.
Like girls against boys?
Nah, it's never like that. El Triste handles his stuff,
Oh, it's kids
Yeah, once maybe 2 girls would be talking with a smile in a room, but once El Triste steps in the room, it's all different vibe,
Pimp hand is strong.
Yeah,
That is strong.
It's just that look. That's it.
He just gotta look at it.
Yeah, I was like, what? I mean, most of my time, when my parents, fuck me up, they would just look at me like, oh, just wait, like.
Got something for you.
Like, always with that look, though. Like, hell yeah, like, I learned a lot of shit with it. But, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do a baby. I'm gonna do like a little baby. But when it comes to building a little baby, I have to fucking buy a stroller or some shit, like, I'm just looking at the bills that it's gonna come with, or how the fuck am I buying like a little stroller, like, I'm just like, I could build a baby easily, because she does different sizes, I could do it quick, but I'm just thinking in a picture scene,
In 10 years, I'm gonna see this guy drive by in a station wagon with a bunch of little puppets.
You know what? Maybe, though. I'm gonna just post them up and shit.
Shit.
And, I just recently lowrider car show that I went right here in Lincoln College. I met this guy, and of course everybody was around me. He went in there. He's like, "What the fuck?" Like tripping the fuck out of me too, like everybody. And he's like, "I built this pedal car that I have." And I built it for fun because, there's some pedal cars in Japan that do like switches, like a real lowrider.
Wow, okay.
3-wheel motion, boom, boom. It does the whole thing, but they're like 3,000 and so, like, was
right.
like, fuck that. Maybe one day, like, I don't know about that. But I met this guy, and he's like, I built just almost one similar to it. And, I have like a box and, switches and shit.
No way.
Which I'm like, and he's the perfect size for it, man. And I just have it there as a fucking trophy that I built,
Right.
And he's the only one that has that shit. And I was like, what the fuck? He's like, I'll give it to you, man. I was like, nah, I'm coming out with that shit. Because, I don't really, I'm not like that. Oh, hell yeah, let him give it to me. Nah, I don't know about it. Because he built it. He said he built it and he does 3-wheel motion and all this shit. And I'm like, that's fucking badass.
If I buy it for him, you promise he won't haunt me?
Nah, I don't know about that. I don't do promises for him, Once everybody's drunk, I can't really do anything about it, But, eventually I might get my hands in that shit, and he's going to have a real lowrider, though. I'm going to do soon a little photo shoot with him. Just
That's what's up.
Show the lowrider off.
That's what's up.
Maybe get somebody to help me out shit.
So you're networking with him too, then?
It just randomly happened because I don't know. He just came out to me. Like, it just somehow perfect with this motherfucker, and like I said, this motherfucker somehow brings everybody together.
How do you see the raza scene now compared to maybe 10, 20 years ago?
I mean, it's way different now. Because, I mean, back in the days, everybody was just doing their own thing, you know, like just my own self and that's it, you know, do your own lane. And everybody was going straight instead of, you know, moving in their own lane instead of creating one that were everybody, so many lanes. And it changes in a way that, you know, people are showing some love now, you know,
That's
like
right.
people are showing love, you know, appreciating, you know, because if I don't think back in the days, I mean, it would be the same. But, you know, I guess social media somehow is just bringing everybody back together, but somehow it's separating too.
Yeah.
Because, you know, a lot of people somehow right now likes clowning. That's just it. I mean, it's good when it comes to laughing, of course, you know, making
Just
fun
don't
of
let
each other.
Three find out about it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Don't let
No,
it catch you
that-
talking about them, because...
That's the hating shit.
Yeah, like, so, you know, it just, like I say, it just goes both ways. But, you know, a lot of people are sharing love.
I got a question now.
Hey.
How did the puppet master
Yeah.
make it to not get involved in a gang, bro? Like, you grew up in a pretty, man.
Yeah, I did grow up in a really, like, because, you know, like...
there's like 4 gangs right
Right,
there, bro.
yeah, and I was right in the middle where everybody was trying to get a piece of the neighborhood that I was grew up in, because, you know, that's where you find the fake ideas, you know, this shit, and you practically find everything in MacArthur Park, and
Right.
I grew up with the neighborhood that owned that park, so, you know, I seen so much shit in here and there, and like I said, the homies what would press me, because, you know, like, I picked their style up, you know, so every day you will see me with, like, baggy ass clothes, even more banged out than them. So they're like, man, you already joined the hood? Like, hey, like, you know, I was trying to always avoid it, because, you know, like, I'm not from over here, you know, I'm actually, you know, like, not born over here. So when it came to joining a gang, like, I'm losing way, way more than people that were born here.
Because a lot of people come,
Yeah,
like,
they
in your
do.
situation,
Yeah.
and they all get into
they
gangs,
do.
bro.
I mean, I did
Yeah,
got a
they
piece,
get
like,
deported.
Yeah.
like I say, you know, I do have the love for the neighborhood, and the neighborhood knows me. You know, like, I don't have to show nothing to nobody, because then, you know, like, they show love in a way that, you know, they didn't really just fuck me over right there and be like, nah, that's it,
right.
like, you're already here, you know. But they knew that, you know, like, you know, because I have a bunch of brothers, and I was. You know, since I work in a theater with, like, kids and all that, I've always been somehow around kids. Like, I always love, you know, laughing and all that shit. Somehow when it comes to me laughing, and I will transfer it to everybody, you know. So I was kind of like the cool guy around me and shit. And
You know-
they just kept it like that.
You
And-
know, a lot of times people don't understand that. You, like, for you grew up in your neighborhood, that area, you never got in. But there's homies that got in that were actually
definitely.
trying to push you to keep going further. That they allowed you to just walk away without.
Yeah,
tripping,
definitely.
right?
Of course, there's a lot of
A lot of
homies that
people don't
show
know that.
Yeah, they don't know, because of course all the OGs are the ones pressing you, you know, and
Yeah.
the homies that I grew up with, they practically joined it, because, you know, they were born here and they grew up in that building and they were practically there. I mean, of course they joined it, and I practically was there since I was younger too, because, you know, I came from over there, came over here, and that's where I landed. And I mean, that's all I know. MacArthur Park, that's all I know.
You got people.
People, yeah, it's different styles. So, you know, I would say no. I would say no, and next day, what's up? So, no. They're like,
The reason I asked that is because I just wanted to kind of highlight that.
yeah.
That's kind of what we try to do. That I know that's what they do. I know
Yeah.
that's what I do.
Totally.
And it's pretty amazing, bro, that your life kind of is a clear demonstration
Yeah.
that you can say no,
Yeah, of
and
course.
still be,
I mean,
you know, considered okay, cool. You're still friends, but
I mean,
you
it's
have
like
your dreams. And
you're
you
practically living there. You can avoid that,
Yeah.
you know. Eventually, I mean, you have a bunch of brothers, but you're the older, you're the only one out there, and everybody will stay home, so they don't get to experience that. But, you know, they are, you know, they just real cool homies and shit, and, you know, like.
still have your respect.
Oh,
and
always,
not get
always,
into the game.
always. You know what? Like, I always stop to the neighborhood because I don't live there no more because I got burned. But you know, I always stop to the neighborhood because that's where I catch my check and that's where I cut my hair sometimes. So I'm always there sometimes. You know, every Friday smoking the homies out and all that. And you know, I meet a lot of new youngsters. You know, which is, I'm not saying it's bad, but it's good for me because I don't want to stop going and then I don't know what show up and this was like, damn, what the fuck is this? You know, like, man.
Because
you
we
know,
had my cuñadito on here, remember?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we were trying to tell him
Yeah.
that he where he's growing up is there's a lot of gangs
Yeah,
that
yeah,
infested and his little friends they ended up they're from the hood now.
Yeah.
And so what we were trying to communicate to him is, look, man, you can You live there, those are your friends, but you don't have to make that
Nobody's
choice.
forcing you in that.
Everybody's different, and you know, like it just depends on your parents too, your family. You know, your parents are somehow
Yeah,
involved in it.
definitely
I mean,
a lot, yes.
you somehow like boom, you know, like.
Yes.
See, and a lot of times, like, you know, like most of my friends, their parents will have like a little store right in front of everything going on. So I mean, you see everything going on, and sometimes you just want a piece of it. And well, when I grew up right there, it was crazy right there, cause you know, I'm glad that actually, I'm not saying I'm proud of it, but I'm glad that I landed where I landed, cause right there, it just fucking
Yeah, it was
blew,
cracking.
It
It was
blew
cracking.
it blew my mind in a way that I was like, damn.
It made you who you are.
Exactly, man.
It's a
Exactly.
part of you now.
Yeah, it is, man.
It's just like me. I don't gangbang no more, but
Yeah,
I
but-
still love being from
It
here.
shapes you, man. It shaped
Yeah.
us.
Yeah,
Of
like
course.
I mean, it would have been from that tough love, and then the south side of the theater.
But I
mean,
think
so
now
it's-
we're figuring out that that the way we were going about it, we just didn't know any better, dude.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We didn't know any better. All those guys were joining hoods because we thought that was the thing to do. This is what you do. You get in a gang. You go to prison. We thought that was fucking normal, dude. While the rest of fucking white America was, I'm making my money. I'm doing this.
Yeah.
I'm moving forward.
Yeah,
And,
always,
and I
man.
think now we as older guys are coming together and we're exposing that, dude. Listen, guys, no, that's not the way to do it. You don't gotta join a hood. You don't gotta kill each other. You don't gotta live. Come out here, hustle out here, live out here, network with each other,
Always.
and we'll get a hit together, brother.
And you know what? Like well, like I said, most of my family we were bangers in Tijuana, and I was practically a future. And for my parents, you know, like we live in a small spot in the neighborhood, and we live in a side, like in a house, and most of my uncles were playing soccer and like whatever tag, whatever they were doing, and they didn't let me go out. Like they would hardly let me go out, but I would still go out there. So you know, then naming me El Necio. That was like my street name, because everybody knew me like El Necio here. And you know, because I never listened, you know, I was doing like, don't do that, but I would still go do it and shit. Like, that's the way that the streets named me. Somehow Instagram gave me Puppet Master. Well, I kind of gave it myself, but like, everybody, when they see me, they're like, what's up, Puppet? And I'm like, oh shit, well, I mean, who else? You gotta be a puppet, you know, like,
That's right,
like, what's
that's
up? So Instagram gave me, you know, Puppet Master.
Yeah.
But it was Necio, huh?
Yeah, and MacArthur Park for sure, Necio, you know.
That's right.
You know, that's what I was.
How old is he? And is he like human years or dog years? Kind of thing? Which one is it?
I mean, he's over 21 for sure.
Pues ya está tomando.
That's right, yeah.
When I'm counting for this motherfucker, it's like, you know.
That's very good that he pointed that out.
I can't really put a name or like age on him, because I mean he's gonna live forever, dog. Like I can't be like, oh, he's 3 years. Well, he's 3 years old, you could say.
So he
Like
lives
as a
dog
human,
years.
Yeah, 21.
Dog years,
I
right?
guess I don't know how fucking dog year
Seven
works.
for 1 year.
I'm a dog myself, but I don't know how that shit works.
Wait. We forgot one thing.
What did you forget?
To thank my wife for introducing us
Oh,
to the
that's
Puppet Master.
Come on, thank your wife for once in your life, damn it. Shit, yeah.
Thank you for making.
Yeah,
Thank you for making the connection, man. That was very cool.
I appreciate it.
And how was that connection? How did that happen?
Through her?
Yeah, she texted me. She was like, "Oh, like I don't know how to text, but like they were I know somebody that does a podcast. You know,
Right.
I would like to invite you to it, but I've done some of them, so I'm always down for it.
That's right.
It was a while back, and somehow I think it was last year, and then it just
Yes.
became to like, oh yeah, and then boom now.
Yeah, no, this is cool. This
Yeah.
is. Come on, we had this guy just perform here. The only thing is that I didn't know until you said it. That's not usually how you do it. So
Nah, I don't. I usually don't that high. Usually the puppet be in front of me, so I'm walking with it.
that's right.
Can I jump him in?
Ándale, güey. Nah.
That way he can get in?
If he didn't get in over there, he ain't gonna get in
Yeah,
over
pretty
here.
much.
You know?
Pretty much.
That was a test. Sonny was testing.
Yeah, Sonny was testing him.
Not yet.
No more jumping people into the hood. Now we're jumping them into junior college. We're jumping them into schools. We're jumping them into jobs.
Walking him through it, bro.
Yeah.
Walking him through.
Now we're walking through the stuff, man. So I don't know how much more time I got left on that thing. So where can people see you? Where can people hear from you? I mean, talk to us, man.
But I'm mostly on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm always, somehow that shit became so addicting.
Oh shit!
Oh, serious. Fucking Instagram is a drug, man. Like, it's a fucking joke.
Definitely it is, bro.
You gotta-
Social media, period.
Yeah, social media is. Social
like
media
I
is.
said, like, I have so many photographers, so they always send me pictures. I'm always posting them. So I'm always somehow, like, always there, like, when it comes to, like, I'm not saying it's a job, but now somehow it just became a job. Because, I got hired through Instagram to do, like, different puppets. Like,
Oh,
I
is
did
that
the
right?
promotion
Okay.
for,
That's
like,
what's
the
up.
Pennywise puppet. which it was pretty cool. They paid me
The
for
perks of
Instagram.
social media.
Yeah, you know, it kind of now I find it as a job. You know, like the more I post, people see this. Oh, they could hire me maybe to do something. And
Right.
That's how I see it now. Which, you know, the more I put, the more people see it.
You even get some of your fine clothing.
Definitely, I am gonna work in some stuff. I just work in this sticker that I have right here. That's how it looked before.
Oh, that's what's up.
But you know, I'm still working on things like that. I don't post them publicly because I don't even have some. I just did them for fun to try them out myself, see how it looks and things like that. Eventually, I do want to build clothes like of his face. You know, put them in different styles and all that. And merchandise is coming, but. Like I said, all that shit becomes more expensive and expensive. Yeah. Eventually, you will go that money back, you know, eventually. But, you know, I don't have the money to invest right now.
You're taking your time. You're branding yourself.
There's no rush for myself.
That's
you know,
right.
I have a documentary of my life, which I'm really proud of. And not a lot of people knows about
Nice.
it. And I can't really post it publicly because I don't have the rights for it. But soon enough, will be around.
It's going to be out? That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's what's
right now,
brother.
it's traveling different film festivals. So it's going to place different theaters for
Very
people
nice.
to see it. So I can really throw it in the internet and things like that. But eventually, people will come into it, and I just finished doing a movie about him too that is coming out in March.
All right.
You know, my birthday's in March, so this shit going out in March, which is gonna be pretty amazing, and we're just gonna celebrate it all around. And the movie that came about him is like, you know, he's practically can't talk. So I had like most of my friends are puppeteers too, you know, the puppet masters themselves, and they do different styles and puppets and stuff like that. And I kind of got a couple of friends to get involved in my film. Because I wanted to just be puppets, you know, marionettes. And so in the movie, he has his own mind, his own soul. It's all about him. Even though he's in a human world, because you only see half of our body, because he's half of our size. So you only see his perspective. And the whole movie about it, and I'm trying to burn it, but the whole movie about it is like,
don't burn it.
Yeah, like he wants to have a different face. He wants to express his feelings, and he can. So the whole movie is about he getting a new face.
Wow.
That's deep.
So, like, you know, at the end of the movie, you're gonna see a brand new
makeover.
That's what's up, brother. That's what's up.
So, I mean, people are really excited about it because, you know, eventually the movie's gonna go to festivals and things like that, and they're gonna get.
I'm excited
myself.
Yeah, they were happy because they're like, oh, bring a taste too, and this was gonna be all over the planet.
That's great, man. That's great.
Do you feel bad sometimes? They invite Teresa and not
you. Like I said, that's what I'm like.
Or when the girls come up, they come for Teresa and not you.
You know what? Like, I'm gonna have to deactivate this fool's account. This was catching up too quick. I'm like, you know, like people follow me too. You know, I have like 17,000, and this fool's like 15,000.
Wow.
Like this fool
competition,
like,
homie.
Yeah. This fool literally know like has 100 followers a day.
He's gonna pass him.
People just follow this motherfucker. I'm like, man,
he's gonna pass him.
Yeah,
he's gonna pass him.
Definitely. I'm like, I'm gonna have to just take a month break. You know, like, all right, I'm right here. You know, like, but yeah, this motherfucker is becoming his own little thing. Bro. I'm just like tripping the fuck out. You know.
Yeah, I'd be mad, homie.
Bro, because I'm telling you, people see me on the streets and they're like, what's
bring out a little hater in you.
I'm hating a piece of wood. I'm hating a piece of wood. Damn it.
Like, you know what? Like, that's my life now. So it's like, you know what? Like, yeah.
And then he could probably dance better than you.
Yeah, I hardly dance, so yeah.
That fool was dancing right now. He don't dance, he boogies.
Yeah, exactly that. You know, he comes and you know, one of my future puppets too is gonna be a break dancer, like a pop locker puppet.
Really?
Because I seen one of this guy. There's
I love that, bro. Breaking, pop locking, you know.
I seen this guy, and I think he's in Georgia or somewhere over there, and he has like a robot kind of style break dancer, and I'm just gonna get the concept from there and do my own style in it. And, you know,
use some of that old disco music, you know what I mean?
I'm a big funk, you know, like funk freaker, you know, like so it's like when it comes to like music, I'm all up on it.
That's right.
I do want to build stuff like that.
We grew up in the era of fucking good music, man.
Yeah, good music, man.
We're fucking blessed.
What's wrong with mumble rap?
Yeah. It's alright, but it's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, I mean, like everybody, even.
And we're not the only ones saying that.
That's right. You know, I mean, you could say like everybody's saying, you know, Tupac and Biggie. If they were being born right now, like, you know, still alive or whatever, like they will go, you know, universal, like everybody, you know, commercial, everything.
Of course.
That's where the money is at. You know, like you make like a club hit, you're all over the place. But if you're more like, you know, real, like they were, like, you know, you're gonna last forever. Though. Like it's not about that bullshit. If you don't have a story or nothing like that, and you know what, that's what kind of like my life kind of trips out, because when I was in Tijuana, like my dad would bump nothing but reggae music, English stuff, and I never like understand it, So when I came over here, now I listen to it, and I was like, this is fucking badass.
Oh, but before you could understand it.
Oh man, now I'm all over the place.
What kind of reggae you like? Bob Marley, Gregory Isaacs?
All that, old school stuff, fucking, Ika Mouse a lot.
Ika Mouse, yeah.
Oh, that motherfucker's really fucking badass, Gregory Isaac, all the old school stuff. Like,
hey, I think we got an issue, dog.
Huh?
I think we got an issue.
What happened, homie?
Hey, this was checking out our old lady.
Hey, get the strap. Get the strap. Get the strap. Get the strap.
I seen them checking them out and we got one of them.
Gave you a warning, bro. 100 followers.
I think with that we'll call it a night, and you got the floor. Any last words, brother?
Yeah, well, I mean, thank you guys for, giving me the love and, trying to share my life and right here with you guys and, get to, show my story out there because not a lot of people knows what's up about me, and eventually now people are following me and they always ask me questions about this, which everything's mostly in YouTube. Like, you could see old school interviews of myself. Right. So just fuck with me, and, I'll be all around and shit like that. And, of course, I'm always be a puppeteer, and I'm always going to pursue this career, which is... It's mostly my hobby right now, but eventually I will become my professionally like that, and I'm ready to build stuff, man. And I'm just, like this close of meeting Snoop Dogg. And
that's gonna be it, huh?
Once I meet that motherfucker, I'm like, hey, what's up? Can I build a puppet with you? I'm fucking do a celebrity fucking puppets.
There you go, brother. There you go.
You know what? Let me build one of you, and I'm gonna build two, one for you, one for me.
Brother.
Do you have Instagram?
Yeah, I do. I have my Instagram, which is Puppet Master 213, because that's the area code that I am.
That's what's up.
We got El Triste 213.
There you go.
So once you find our pages, you see all around.
We'll put it in the description.
Definitely, dog. Hell yeah.
Hey, good night. Gracias, homie.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
What's up, man?
That's